as Coach Prime has really retooled the roster at Colorado, I guess retool is the right word. He got a really big transfer portal commit that I think a lot of people are overlooking, and I certainly want to talk about. But before we dive into it today, please go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Do you think Demouy Kennedy is one of the best prospects that Coach Prime has brought into the transfer portal, or do you think it's somebody different? Tell me who you think it is. So, well, I guess I said it earlier, but Coach Prime and the staff landed a pretty big transfer portal commit in Demouy Kennedy from the University of Alabama. Demouy Kennedy, he entered his name in the transfer portal, and during his recruiting, session, whatever you want to call it, he was a really highly rated recruit, a top 40 guy or a top 40 player, according to the 247 composite. In the country in the 2020 class. He had a .9819 composite score ranking. He had offers from Alabama, LSU, Florida Atlantic, Bowling Green. You're talking Florida State, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisville, TCU, Texas A&M, Tennessee. So when you look at the offers he had, this was a guy that was wanted by a lot of schools. And when you look at why he was wanted by a lot of schools, you look at maybe it was his lengthy frame. Maybe it was because this guy was just a pure athlete, right? He could run and finish at the linebacker position. Or maybe it was because he was a violent football player with just an extreme lower body explosiveness. Whatever it was, everybody wanted Demouy Kennedy. He was a guy that when you looked at him, you saw a potential NFL, maybe even first-round prospect. That's how good Demouy Kennedy is. And, of course, at a place like Alabama, or I'm even going to throw Georgia into this mix, you get so many five-star and really high four-star guys that come into these rooms. Sometimes even really good players have a hard time cracking the spot for a starting spot. And when you look at Demouy Kennedy, ultimately he didn't get a starting role at Bama, and that's why he's there. Being recruited by Pete Golding, who's no longer at the University of Alabama, he's now at Ole Miss. This is a pretty interesting addition for Coach Prime because you're going out there and you're landing an elite 6'3", 220-pound linebacker. And for those of you who've watched my show multiple times, a lot of you guys have commented in the Taylor Upshaw videos and some other ones where it was like, hey, when are we getting linebackers? Like, we haven't gotten hardly anybody at that position, right? What are we going to do there? And I'm like, just wait. There's a lot of good guys in the transfer portal. Demouy Kennedy was one of those. And I was high on this kid and Coach Prime potentially landing him. Like I said, just because of his pure athletic talent, I think that this is a guy that is going to be able to fit in to what this Coach Prime and this staff want to do on defense. Ultimately, like I said, we talked about how he didn't really get a huge crack at Alabama, only having 8 total tackles in his career there and 3 solo tackles. But Demouy Kennedy is a guy, like I said, that he's got that explosiveness. He's got he's raw in coverage. He can shed blocks with, his length. If, out of high school, they were talking about if he was able to add mass and enough size, he could really be pushing as an all-conference player. That's who Colorado got in Demouy Kennedy. That's who y'all got. And that's why I'm excited for it. And listen, y'all should be excited too, because y'all got a player that was being linked to LSU, Georgia, A&M, Tennessee, Auburn, some of the most elite schools. Ultimately, he ended up at Alabama. We all know the story there. But go ahead, jump down in the comments below, and let me know what y'all think about Demouy Kennedy, because I haven't really heard much about this, and I've been kind of slacking on the content because I needed a break. But I'm ready now. I'm back in it. I'm ready to talk about it, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts about Demouy Kennedy. I think he'll probably play more of the inside linebacker role for Colorado. I don't know if they're going to shift him to the outside, but this is just an interesting take, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts on it. So, are you excited about Demouy Kennedy at the linebacker position for the University of Colorado in this Coach Prime defense?